Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to or watching the Valentine's Day special episode of Teddybears and Tentacles podcast. We've been in production now for about 6 months, and if you've been paying attention at all, we have gone through a lot of changes in that short period of time. One of the great things about doing podcasts is that you kind of have your own space to kind of do whatever you want, and so that's what we've been doing here. But the problem with doing everything DIY like we've done it is sometimes you run into some issues. So recently, we just got some new gear, and this is actually the first episode of T-Bat that we have used some of that stuff. So this episode originally was about an hour and 45 minutes long, and after running through some technical problems, it's cut down to about an hour. So we lost a lot of audio in the process, and a little bit of video, and unfortunately some great conversation, which maybe I'll come back and cover at some point in time, but this is the Valentine's Day episode. You might run into some weird transitions, some weird video stuff if you're watching YouTube. We tried to cover that stuff up just with our logo. So sorry for the inconvenience and the disappointment if you're watching, but we did our best and we hope to continue to improve in the future. Thanks again for watching. In 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, thank you for watching and or listening to episode number Valentine's Day of Teddybears and Tentacles podcast. My name is Quinn, and I have with me today blue flavored candle holding shoes matching shirt, Skinny Rick. So there it is. There's the shoes with the shirt.
We're gonna get
maybe. I don't know.
There it is.
Yeah. So, and we also have with us today returning guest Dylan Puckett.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we're here, and we have behind the soundboard switcher, old Slim Simpson.
That's right, P Jim.
P Jim. From the City Church plethora of podcasts and content.
Your mom.
So my mom, yeah. And so, yeah. So what's going on this week? What'd you have going on this week, Skinny Rick?
I was sick.
How long are you gonna hold that candle for?
Until I'm warm.
Okay. So what was going on? What was your ailment, dude?
I think I got a sinus infection is what it was.
Okay.
I don't know for sure. But I was in bed for about 2 days.
2 days?
Yeah.
That's rough, dude. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. Glad to have you back.
Like business days or whole days?
Maybe like
Business days are okay.
maybe like school days.
Okay, business days. Got it.
So 9 to 5 you were sick?
Yeah.
And what happened during the nighttime?
I edited videos.
Not sick though.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good for you, Dylan. What's been going on with you? We haven't seen you since the Christmas episode where Skinny Rick was let out of here by Russian Santa.
Yeah, Fire Hazard broke up. We disbanded,
No, you guys broke up
I guess.
emotionally. Relationally.
It's really hard, yeah. Brett said mean things to me
Yeah.
and he punched me in my heart.
So
No, it's and I had a birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
I had
Last
my
Saturday. Happy
8th
birthday.
annual 21st birthday.
well, good, man. So what are you, 27?
Here's the thing. Me and like the same age.
Mm-hmm. I'm just considerably younger.
Yeah. I'm not as old as I look. As young as he looks.
We're going to have to bleep all that out, but that's okay.
That's okay.
So y'all are both like 21 and a half, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, good. So we had today originally planned a big production episode like the Christmas one, but we couldn't get everybody scheduled to work. So
Yeah. Tim Dillon wasn't available to come wear a Cupid costume.
yeah.
So
we will try and do something on maybe Easter, but Despite that, today we will be doing the Valentine's virus episode.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the original plan may have been to kind of break down Valentine's Day and our culture and what it looks like and stuff like that. But those things are actually, it doesn't go too much deeper than the little rumors and stuff that you hear to begin with about like the Valentine's Day massacre and stuff like that. There's not a whole lot behind it, but yeah, so I figured we would take today and talk about some of the stuff that's been going on with the coronavirus and some other stuff as well.
How lovely.
But before that, you playing anything new or watching anything new, Skinny Rick?
Not playing anything new. I watched the live action Aladdin movie.
What'd you think about it?
I actually really liked it as a movie.
Really?
As a movie?
Yeah, there's like just as a movie, not just like, oh, this is not bad for a thing that's already been done. But as a movie, I thought it was pretty good.
What did you think of Will Smith?
I liked him. Yeah, he was good.
Thought it was good.
Jasmine's like musical number towards the end felt really out of place thematically. Like the music didn't even match the theme of everything else that was happening. Along with, like, I get that it was. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh,
I mean, I've been told that I should watch it, but I've also, like, I think my sister loved it.
Yeah.
And then, like, Kenneth, for instance, just, he was like, this is awful. So, I mean, I've just heard both. I mean, I've just heard
Both
so
sides?
many
I was into
varying.
Did you know it was
reviews.
directed by Guy Ritchie?
Are you messing with me?
No, I'm not messing with you at all.
Oh, no.
It's straight up directed by Guy Ritchie.
That's interesting. So we tried to watch it a while back, and I don't know, it just felt strange to me. But
I mean, it's definitely just
Isn't it
Aladdin.
like almost like a shot for shot remake?
Almost.
sort of.
It's like supposed to be really close.
That's part of why Jasmine had this musical number that was like,
Yeah.
the heck is this? Like, we've been so accurate to the film, and it's like they just added this. She had a whole song that she sang towards the end that felt like something out of Frozen, not Aladdin. And I was like, this just seems real forced.
So did you not notice all of the resolution issues that they had with the CGI parts, like Abu and stuff like that, whenever they're running through at the beginning, like the first song, whenever he's running through everything?
No, everything was like a slow motion.
Okay.
It was like they slowed the it's like they slowed the footage down.
Maybe it was
to
whatever.
make it less like.
I think that he actually watched it on his phone though.
No, I watched it on the computer.
On the computer.
So we watched it on a TV,
It's a
and it
little different.
glitched. Like it felt like the resolution just messed up a lot whenever they would have the monkey in the scene running next to him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We didn't end up watching the whole thing, but
I enjoyed it like loads better than a single other live action remake that Disney has done. The rest of them have been The Lion King.
I didn't even see that because
it's
nobody
not live
wants
action.
that. What they want is take a 3D animated version. So like take Pixar
Yeah.
and make a Lion King movie in that style.
Yeah.
I don't want, even then, why are we calling that live action? There's not a live, there's not like a living thing in it.
yeah.
Well, I
It's
mean,
like they tricked everybody into calling it something it's not.
Did they really?
It's just an animated movie.
Did they really trick anybody? I think they tricked themselves because everybody else was like, no.
Yeah.
Maybe
You can always tell they do not do a good job with the hair yet in CGI with like animals and stuff like that. The fur just looks weird in my opinion. That's how usually you could tell whenever I'm watching that stuff. So what else? What about you? You been watching anything?
I was talking with you the other day. You suggested October Faction.
Yeah.
So I've been watching that on Netflix. It's not bad. It kind of reminds me of Umbrella Academy and that it feels sort of like a graphic novel. I don't know if it is or anything. I just have been watching it. But, I mean, it's kind of...
October Faction was a graphic novel, I think.
Oh, then it definitely... it has that feel to it. Even, like, the way that it's shot and the colors. And, I mean, like, it's a cool idea. Basically, they live in a world where monsters exist. Vampires, werewolves, like... warlocks, stuff like that, and the humans basically have this. I don't want to call it like a. It's not a branch of the military, but it's something sort of like that, and they work to eradicate.
It's like Men in Black.
Well, the thing is most people have no idea
that
they exist, and they kill these monsters that live with us every day, and then they do some. Like, are they really monsters? And there's some stuff like that that's kind of like played out. But, I mean, it's been fun. It's not necessarily like it's like groundbreaking show, I don't think. But, I mean, for what it is, to spend 40 minutes here and there watching it. I mean, like, their cliffhangers are good. And, I mean, I've watched, in just this past week, I've watched most of this whole season. So, it's got some twists and turns that are good. So, I mean, I've been doing that. And then I've been looking for other things. I watched Great News, I think, Tina Fey's. I think I watched it just to keep it light. It's just a little, I mean, honestly, like a pretty wholesome little comedy thing that she did. And, I mean, I enjoyed that quite a bit. But I love most of what Tina Fey has done, at least like recently, I guess.
Yeah. So I have been watching a bunch of documentaries that I could talk about all individually, honestly. But The Pharmacist, it's about the
I saw that populate in mine.
Pill epidemic in New Orleans back in like 2011, 2012, which was really it's really good. They've been killing it with some of their documentaries. They really have. But yeah, that I've been playing the Warcraft 3 remake pretty much. Whenever I do play video games now, that's all I'm playing. So other than that, not much has been happening. So it's Valentine's Day this week. So I think Callie and I are going to go eat somewhere that night, and that's probably going to be it.
Didn't you go eat somewhere fancy, Skinny Rick?
Yeah. Me and my special boy went to Alligator Soul.
How was it?
Straight after work. Left the shop. Showed up. He was in a Spider-Man t-shirt. I was in a black hoodie. And they asked me to take my hat off. And so I did. Because it's so respectful.
Did they have like a dress code? Or was it just who asked you to take it off?
The guy that like was
like
seating us. Yeah.
Huh.
It's like, if you could just remove your hat for me. I was like.
So how much was it?
It's $40 for appetizer, entree, and a dessert.
Oh, yeah, because it's restaurant week.
Restaurant week.
Or was, or whatever.
Poor people week, you know?
Yeah.
So worth it or no?
Oh, yeah, it was worth every dollar.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Only during restaurant week. Though. There's no way that it's...
Week. You would never catch me out there paying $40 for the appetizer.
So what
but usually it's like it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So like 3 times as much as.
Mm-hmm.
So what'd you end up getting?
I got a blood orange salad for my appetizer, which was really fire. Made me like salads a little bit. I got bison and venison. Like, it's a fancy word for it, but essentially it's just really nice lasagna.
Bolognese.
Yeah, that. And then for dessert, I got a parfait because, parfaits are the best thing in the whole world.
Parfaits are okay by me.
Yeah. Which was also the best parfait I've ever had in my life.
Oh, so it's good then.
Oh, it was all good.
Ethan said you didn't feel safe.
I did not. I felt like the other guests wanted to hurt me. Yeah. There was a dollar store Jeffrey Epstein sitting in the corner, and I felt like he was going to get me smuggled onto some island.
You couldn't get into the finder's cold somehow. Dude.
I felt like I was about to end up on an island somewhere.
Dang, boy.
I was telling him, we talked about it some, is it's just, there are people in there trying to be fancy and you're just ruining they just want to come in and be nice.
Oh, there was.
But reality is just slapping them in the face from a table over.
No,
It's
for
there-
real,
and
the
there with
table
their
next to
ties
us,
and stuff.
the table next to us was, we were obviously eavesdropping. And so the table next to us where it was these two guys taking these girls out on a date, and the girls were super wasted. And the guys were like talking about how they like faked their way in. And I was like, all right. They're like, yeah, we got all this money because blah, blah, blah. I was like, that's illegal, but okay.
Yeah. Well, good. So you're hanging out with the child sex traffickers of the nation. They can be found.
I didn't get a picture because I was too scared to try to take one. Because everyone was looking at us. Like the whole time people were looking at us.
That's crazy.
But yeah.
Congratulations.
So.
Well, good.
It was good food.
I'm glad you got to experience that. I know you had talked about wanting to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So what made y'all pick that place?
I heard that they had bacon wrapped quail.
That's right.
And then when we got there, they didn't.
Probably sold out of it, huh?
I don't know.
Restaurant week.
I wanted to get, that's what I wanted to get, but I couldn't find it on the menu. So also, the place was way too fancy. Like when we sat down, they were like,
put it in your lap.
They were like, would you like sparkling, mineral, or regular water? And we were like, whatever the heck you got in that picture.
Flat water.
Just water's fine.
Yeah.
And so they even pour it fancy. They're like,
oh, they hold by the bottom, like they're
like that. And then also, I had no idea what he was saying the whole time. He was like, yes, this item on the menu is blah, 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 blah.
Some of this right here.
Yeah, some of that.
Pouring you like this.
I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand anything that he was saying. He like would explain menu menu items, and we'd be like, "What?"
This man's speaking in tongues.
It's like, I'm confused. Is it not a salad? Like
the description says it's a salad.
The name says salad, but you just didn't say anything.
So total, we spent between the both of us like $85. And we left a $22 tip, but also a $3 coupon for Perrier.
Oh my god, that's great.
We left it in cash on the table, which is not what you're supposed to do.
The coupon in cash?
The coupon and the cash.
What are you supposed to do there?
Well, no one else was leaving tips on the table. They were just doing it on their card because, they got the whatever the black card is that you can like spend however much money you want.
Yeah.
It's like a debit card without a restriction on it. Like it doesn't matter how much you want to spend. Yeah. You can spend it.
That sounds fun, dude.
It's for like people who want to go buy a yacht like on the weekend. Just impulse buy.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at yachts online?
I mean, I've seen pictures.
Like, no, have you ever been like, I wonder how much it would be to buy a yacht?
No, because I don't like the water.
Okay, I'm the only one. Got it.
It's a whole bunch.
I mean, it is. I've looked at, I don't know why I've looked, I'm not going to own a yacht. But sometimes I like to look.
I mean, I've seen pictures of yachts, but
like you've never like looked at stuff that like you'll never afford. Like, oh, how much does it cost?
No, just the Cybertruck.
How much would it be for me to get like a jet from Gulfstream?
The only thing I've looked at is the Cybertruck because I really want one. But I mean, they're not that expensive. They're just too expensive for me.
Just out of your price range right now.
Mm-hmm.
Current budget.
Once this podcast blows up and everyone's buying our merch and I'm bringing in
and
the
using
bags,
using your codes on.
Yeah, using my code for
Acorn.
Yeah.
MeUndies.
Quip.
Got that MeUndies rich.
Manscaped. Can we get sponsored by like a bail bond like agency? Maybe?
You get sponsored by anything, dude.
Let's do it. I want to get sponsored by something real weird.
Yeah.
Like the Jacksonville Zoo.
You can get sponsored by Miss Hope down on Victory.
Really? Can you do that?
I don't know.
That sounds kind of spooky to me.
Miss Hope?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got cards on her thing. She got cards on the sign, dude. She's already giving away free readings on the way in the door. I ain't trying to do that.
Well, look, let's start talking about this stuff, and we will.
All right.
We'll do that. So, we got a few different things to talk about today. Like I said, a lot of it's going to be coronavirus stuff, but I do kind of want to talk. I want to talk briefly about this Harry Dunn thing, and I'd be lying to you if I told you I was an expert on all the information surrounding this thing, but I definitely want to dig some more into this and maybe talk about it next week because it is very interesting. So we'll just go ahead and read the first part of it. The American woman claiming diplomatic immunity over the death of a teenage motorcyclist in Britain was once a senior CIA spy, according to UK reports on Sunday. And Sakulis, 42, fled the UK after the death last August of 19-year-old biker Harry Dunn, claiming diplomatic immunity because her husband, Jonathan Sakulis, worked in a still murky U.S. diplomatic job, but she was previously an agent for the CIA who was more senior than her husband, according to the Mail on Sunday, which cited multiple sources in both Washington and London. So, this kid was leaving on a motorcycle around the exit of the RAF, which is the Royal Air Force, and there was some kind of a collision. She killed him and fled the scene and was granted diplomatic immunity.
Wait, that's illegal.
Yep. And
I don't know.
US,
I don't know how you're doing it over there, Europe,
Yeah,
but here, if you leave, that's a no-no.
So the U.S. is also refusing to extradite her. So basically, as long as she stays away from there, she's going to be fine. So it's pretty bizarre.
Don't go back to the UK.
Yeah.
No going back to the UK.
Had you heard anything about that at all? Yeah. So I don't know why.
I'd be pretty mad if someone killed me, left the scene, and then get in trouble.
I don't know why this has resurfaced the way that it has just recently. Like I said, I don't know all the details surrounding it, but it happened last August. And I do remember hearing something about it, but there's been some buzz around it the last probably week. And so I just haven't had the chance to really dig that deep into it yet. Typically, whenever it comes to stuff like this, you can go jump on 4chan or, different places where the conspiracy community kind of lives, Reddit, stuff like that, and, kind of find out if there was anything sketchy, even potentially going on. But it's just a weird situation. It's weird that they won't extradite this lady, and it's weird that she would flee in the first place. So, kind of makes you wonder what's going on.
Maybe she was trying to kill him.
Especially when there's CIA involvement,
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he was a target.
Yeah. Who knows, man? But hopefully I can look some more into this thing and we can talk about it some next week. So, other than that, So Jim and I actually text back and forth pretty often, different stuff that we see. And so a few of these things he had sent me, and so I wanted to talk about it. One of them is they found a fungi living where Chernobyl is that is actually eating the radiation. So
nice.
Supposedly they found that actually, like years back, they found fungi that was able to live through it, but they just recently found that it's actually eating it. So,
and that's the Earth.
Yeah, this is CNET.
Somebody's gonna get bitten by it and become a superhero.
A really fun guy.
Well, it's actually really weird because if you look at pictures and different read like different studies by people who have gone into that area, like Pripyat and stuff like that, where the nuclear reactor was, there's like thriving wildlife and all that stuff. There's tons of different animals.
They got a fifth leg, but it don't really matter.
Yeah,
they're happy.
Well, I mean, I don't know, dude. It makes you wonder if there is stuff like that. I think at one point I saw that there was these really exceptionally large catfish that they found in a pond or a lake or something there, like way, way bigger than they're supposed to get. But supposedly there's like...
We're talking like humpback whale scale.
Supposedly there's species of deer and I think one species of fox that was actually on the brink of endangerment, that because like that place had been cleared out by humans, they kind of started living there and
now they're
populated
unendangered
and stuff like that.
They got wolves and crap too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean
there's a whole video game around the premise of the wolves in Chernobyl. I'm not even joking.
What game?
I think it's just called Wolves.
Wolves in Chernobyl?
Yeah, something like that. I don't actually know how to spell Chernobyl.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure.
Fear the
Wolves. Yeah.
Battle Royale set in Chernobyl. So what is it? Like is it actually a Battle Royale or is it like zombie style? You gotta fight these wolves?
I've never played it. I've just seen the trailer. It looks cool. It was like in early access whenever I first saw it. I don't know if it's finished.
Oh, so it's a VR for real.
Yeah.
Oh, it's VR?
No,
BR.
Battle Royale.
It would be cool if it was VR. That'd be sweet. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Wait, so I mean, I get that you fear the wolves, but are you gonna...
There's a boy.
You gonna fight some other folks?
There's a dude. Oh, no, that's a care package. Yeah. See, there's the wolves. There they go.
So you have to fight the wolves and people?
Yeah.
So this is more like that game that you play, Hunt Showdown kind of.
Yeah, I found it in this game similar to the Hunt Showdown.
PvE and PvE in the same kind of.
Yeah. Check this out. Black. Get his gun, dude. Put that mask on.
It is Max.
Well.
Now you're the murderer.
This looks cool. Okay.
There's some like cool, see if I can find it. Yeah, stuff like this starts happening. Some weird like magical stuff. Like explosions. It's similar to like Escape from Tarkov where you're trying to get out.
Oh, is it? Because Tarkov is really taking off.
So
Tarkov is dope.
Dude, that is kind of a cool concept. If you have to like in a battle royale, at the end of it, the circle is like small, and then you have to like contest to get onto the helicopter.
Oh yeah,
yep.
Because that's that is what like Tarkov is, right? Like it's kind of you're having to. Your whole thing is to escape.
Your whole thing is to shoot your way out of Tarkov. So
right,
everyone's trying to leave, but not everyone can leave. Mm-hmm. I've never played either of these games. I just have seen them. That trailer didn't have it, but there's I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but there's like storms and stuff, like these crazy like tornado crap things that happen. So there's also there's PvE, PvP, but there's also environmental dangers where like you could get killed by the environment.
Oh.
So, but yeah, Fear the Wolves.
Cool.
It's a game.
So let's go back to the article real quick and I'll read it.
Let's go back to the actual thing.
So scientists have discovered that a strand of fungi in the Chernobyl nuclear power plant feeds on radiation, according to a Thursday report by Express. The fungi was first found at Chernobyl in 1991, 5 years after the nuclear reactor exploded, but scientists have just recently found that its properties could help protect people from radiation. The fungi is called Cryptococcus neoformans. They could,
That's made
dude,
up.
pick something easier.
Nah, dude, that's not a real word.
Name it radiation eating fungi. So, and it's well known.
You can't tell me that's a real word.
It's well known to science, having first been described in the 1890s. It can be a nasty microorganism for humans if it gets into those with compromised immune systems, resulting in an infection known as cryptococcosis.
How many C's can you
For
fit
real,
in
man.
a word?
C-O-C-O, O's and C's, dude. Turns out it may
So this
also,
is like So this is like that thing from Alien whatever, where it's like the spores get in the air and then they go into your face and then you die.
I don't know. So this is what it says right here. It's talking about space right here. It turns out it may be also beneficial for humans, particularly in space. The fungi contains high levels of melanin, a pigment that turns skin darker. That melanin absorbs radiation and turns it into chemical energy, similar to how plants turn carbon dioxide into chlorophyll, into oxygen, and glucose through photosynthesis, according to a study first published in 2007. This specific process is dubbed radiosynthesis.
Can we get a better description of what chemical energy is?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Like, what are we talking about? We talking about like we could power like a potato clock, or like we talking like maybe a little music box?
I mean, apparently just enough to just give you some energy. That's it. That's kind of what it's saying.
Make your
I mean,
skin
that's all
look
it's
a little
saying.
darker.
You're not
I
gonna
don't
feel
know
like a city off of it.
Your boy
Yeah, I
over
don't
here
know
could
what
use some of
chemical
that.
energy would be, but I mean, they're talking about plants. So whatever kind of energy a plant is getting from photosynthesis is what this thing is getting from.
Dude,
Make it sprout a rose out of your ear.
I could use some of that skin tone. Boys
you
over
could.
here being so white.
Yeah. So I
don't
thought that
know if
was.
there's anyone whiter than me.
There's no one whiter than you.
I don't think so.
I'm
Not
sure
even
there is.
Weird Al.
Not even Weird Al. Wow. Skinny Rick, the whitest guy alive.
I'm not far behind.
Yeah. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So I thought that was pretty interesting. You know that I like the whole. I don't like that Chernobyl happened, but I find it a fascinating scenario.
It's really cool that that the Earth is like trying to bounce back. You know,
Like has its own immune system,
Yeah.
sort of. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
It's been around longer than all of us. It better be good at it.
yeah, for sure.
I don't know, dude.
So the other
Has
thing.
That's it.
The other thing that I wanted to talk about before we went into the coronavirus, and it's another thing that I don't know a ton about, is the mass shootings in Thailand. The mass shooting in Thailand. Have you heard about that? Anybody?
No.
So Grant,
the one from the. Go ahead.
Grant posted it a few days ago, probably last week, and go ahead and pull that up. Whenever I first read it, I want to say that it had said that it was some type of military personnel or something like that.
Right, that's what I had
The heck?
been reading about.
Yeah.
Was that it
Those
was on a
shoes are
military base.
$225.
My understanding was that it was a soldier who
committed the act.
Oh, it was like
but again,
a.
that was just kind of surface level.
Was it?
And they're required military there, right?
So they do require service at 18.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
but that's only
right.
I think it's for a couple of years. But
It's
this
only
guy
for, like,
was
2.
I mean, we'll get
I
into
think.
some of it with the article. He was a bit older than that.
Yeah. So we'll go through this shortly, and then I want to have enough time to get through some of this coronavirus stuff. So go ahead and scroll up a little bit, Skinny Rick.
Well, that's just the picture.
Okay. So Thailand has more than, so this is on BBC.com. Thailand has more than its fair share of gun crime, gun ownership, and gunshot deaths are among the highest in Asia. But no one could remember a mass shooting like this before, every bit as bad as those in the United States. By the time it was over, 30 people, including the gunman, were dead. It began a little after 3 p.m. on Saturday afternoon at a house just outside the city of Nakhon Ratchasima, a sprawling commercial hub for Thailand's northeastern region. A 32-year-old sergeant major shot dead his commanding officer and the colonel's mother-in-law. The three had been in business together, buying and selling land, and the sergeant major was apparently angry about not being paid for the deal he had brokered. The gunman then went to the, I'm not even going to try to say it, army
Something
base. Yeah.
To do with Thailand.
So he went to this army base, a weapons and ammunition supply depot where he worked. He shot at least one soldier and was able to steal a truck, 2 assault rifles, a machine gun, and nearly 800 rounds of ammunition.
Oh.
He also had 5 guns of his own. From there, he went to a Buddhist temple 15 minutes drive away where people were marking Makbucha, an important Buddhist holiday. He opened fire and killed 9 people there and moved into the city center, the upscale airport-themed Terminal 21 shopping mall. At times, videoing himself and streaming it to his Facebook page, he fired his assault rifle at passing cars, killing drivers and passengers. Inside the mall, shoppers fled as he entered. So, yeah. I guess that's pretty much it. He killed 29 people and then himself.
Part of the problem with the story, well, not with the story. Trying to think about how to say this. So the media is saying this is the first mass shooting in Thailand. The problem that we have is that there's no globally accepted definition for mass shooting, and so I looked this up a few months ago, but in the U.S., I think it currently, and it has changed 3 times in the last 20 years, but I think it's currently 4 shootings or more. So if 4 people are shot or more, it's a mass shooting. But that's not a universal definition. And so...
And that's like consecutively or within a certain amount of time.
Right. In the immediate crime. Yeah, 4 people. And so... that has its own problems with the way the America has defined that, but I don't really know how Thailand defines that word. So it might not parallel the same for us in America. So we think, wow, they've gone all this time, they've never had a mass shooting, but they have a lot of gun violence. They might not consider 4 people shot a mass shooting. And so it'd be interesting to do some research into that. But
for sure.
Whenever you kind of hear those things, you have to kind of think about how we talk about it all the time, like that, define your terms.
Yeah.
And that's a term that is constantly being redefined within our own nation, much less not having a universal accepted definition globally.
Yeah. Yeah, so it would definitely be interesting to dig deeper into the spiritual implications that surround some of this stuff. But one of the things that I want to look at while Skinny Rick is, once again, warming himself up using this candle.
It's cold and I forgot my hoodie.
So I want to transition to this video that Jim also shared with me. And this is of, like we said earlier, the surveillance state in China is kind of rearing its head here, and we're able to see some stuff that we have not seen previously. And so we're gonna go ahead and drop this video in post, or put in the link if I'm not able to get it. But so this video is, go ahead and unmute it and do the audio through the TV, because the audio is relevant here. So you're gonna have to change it down at the bottom right, potentially, to the TCL. Yeah. Okay, so go ahead and play this, and we're gonna watch this. So if you're listening to this, there's a drone that's following a lady around with a man speaking Chinese and kind of giving her orders to get back inside.
大爷，真是非常时期，你不戴口罩又往外跑，别笑了，赶紧骑你的3轮车回家，对吧？没事，别往出跑，看口罩了。
So,
赶紧走，对吧？小朋友，现在是非常时期，别在外面溜达，口罩也没戴，赶快往家走。现在这冠状病毒多严重啊！快跑！别再出来了啊！
Why is it?
在家好好待着，对社会做贡献。
So, What we saw was basically 3 instances where some drones with speakers built into them or on them or whatever are chasing some people around that are outside in different areas of China, and basically someone on the other side, the drone pilot presumably, is telling them to go inside and other stuff, and you know, it's just really odd. Like, on a level, I do understand this kind of thing, but the way that they are kind of handling it, where it's like they're telling them, like, what are you looking at, and like, this is how you're supposed to be benefiting society, is by going inside during these times and stuff like that. And so this is just, you know, hardcore intrusive basically. And you know, whenever we had years ago the Ed Snowden thing release all the information about the NSA and the fact that they were watching private citizens through drones and stuff like this is just kind of the next step in that. And so I'm guessing that something similar to martial law is happening there right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's a full-on quarantine.
Yeah.
So people are being told not to leave their homes. I think that some of that quarantine's been lifted, though, in the last 48 hours. But, you know...
You get enough time to go get some food and get back inside.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the problem they were having, is that people needed food. People were leaving their homes, and, you know, they were... I think that the reason that this made the news, and it did make it in several news sites, was because it kind of confirms the, you know, I think the police state presence that we all kind of feel like China has.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely interesting to see this kind of thing just happening anywhere, really. It's scary.
Yeah, I mean, you would mostly think that they would have. You and I were talking about this the other day, that it would be something more, almost like a PSA, that it would be coming through. I don't know, that they would have some type of like speaker system, or just simply something that's like up. It's not like there's a person who's flying this drone around who is like speaking to you
specifically
live. It's not a pre-recorded, please get inside, like, help keep your community safe, stay inside. It's like you said, it's a, what are you looking at? Stop laughing and go home.
So the first time I looked at this, I thought this is pretty condescending.
It could just be the way that it translates.
It could just be the way that it translates.
Even though we are in unusual times, isn't sure. It's like,
sounds like something straight out of Harry Potter, if you ask me.
It's even when they say like, "What are you looking at?" That obviously, like when we say that in the States, that feels like someone's
a negative
accusing you, but some of it could be lost in translation. But either way, it's still something that is sort of troubling. That again, that it's not a pre-recorded thing. There's a person who, I mean, I would think that same person who's speaking to you is controlling it, and they're going around telling people what to do.
It's very Metal Gear. If you've ever played that, it's very Metal Gear, where it's, you know, if you played some of the newer ones, they have drones and stuff that basically like patrol the areas and stuff like that. So it's weird. And so the last thing that I wanted to look at was that last article that we have up. And
while he's pulling that up, did you see the news this morning that there are 200 people in the state of Georgia right now that they're self-monitoring for signs of the coronavirus?
Really?
Yeah. So 200 people who they've been given I'm self-monitoring, to me means that they're getting to determine whether or not they have it or not. I'm not really sure. But it was in the news this morning.
And so these are...
Because we have Atlanta.
These are presumably people who had been
in contact.
So one thing that I was curious about is the cruise ship thing. This is probably the only aspect of it that I don't fully understand. So did they send these cruise ships out for quarantine, or were the cruise ships already out?
These are, my understanding is the cruise ships themselves had mixed groups of people on them. And so because of that, they were put in quarantine. I mean, you had some that were denied access to port or harbor or whatever they call it in multiple nations. So you had a number of these. This one that I sent you was just one of what is an American couple who, kind of was voicing their concerns, but this was a problem that was impacting people from a number of nations.
Yeah. So we will, we're going to watch this video and we'll put the link to this in here. I don't want to drop in a Fox News video. So let's go ahead and scrub through it. Make sure that we're not watching Sean Hannity yell about Elizabeth Warren for a second. And then we'll find where it starts. And
It doesn't let you scrub.
it doesn't let you scrub. All right, just hit play.
We can scrub it in post.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, so they're having an interview with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
From their ship.
Okay, let's go ahead and listen to it.
Do you want me to go back?
Yeah, go back a little bit. So this is Fox News. If you don't like it, go watch Rachel Maddow.
Welcome to both of you. I'm sorry that your honeymoon has turned out this way. First of all, how are you both feeling? How's it going?
Health-wise, we're pretty good. Mentally,
Not so great.
yeah. It's been quite a few hours now. We've basically been trapped in our room and,
Trying to stay as sane as possible.
yeah, pretty much.
Are Diamond Princess officials, and I apologize, there's probably a delay, so if we talk over each other, are Diamond Princess officials giving you clear information, clear direction, and what's the food situation?
So basically, I know what's going on before they even tell us from our parents at home and from obviously from Fox News and this and that. And like, yeah, they update us, but it's always been very lagged. And then,
Okay, so go ahead and pause it.
It's been vague up until
So,
today.
Gotta do an escape.
So they're how long have they been out there at this point?
Escape from the cruise line.
I don't know on this particular one.
Okay.
It's like Tarkov in
If you
real
scroll
life.
down, is this just a video?
Scroll down.
Oh, it's an article.
This
Here we go.
has a written portion to it. I don't ever usually watch the videos. I normally just read the story.
So let's scroll down a little bit more. So basically it's saying that there's a fear for shortage of food. The cruise ship Diamond Princess is anchored. 2-week quarantine in their cabins. 3,700 people. So my question was, I did see that so 10 others were tested positive on Wednesday on the actual cruise itself. And so
Well, that's in addition to, it was mentioning earlier, it said like 61 people had been tested positive.
yeah.
Correct. I mean,
Before,
that it was not an unmerited or unwarranted quarantine. It wasn't like a police
Yeah,
state.
yeah. Well, regardless if it was one or half of them, really,
Sure.
it's. So I guess my question is, with them being quarantined for 2 weeks, it seemed like the news of the quarantine of the ship came out before they diagnosed or people had tested positive. So I guess my question is, at first they said that they were guessing there was a 10-day incubation period on it, which would mean that you could have this virus without showing symptoms for 10 days before.
And be contagious.
Yeah, and be contagious. So my question is, with a 2-week quarantine, are they finding out that potentially that the incubation period on it is longer?
Well, so I just pulled it up, and you've got, as of an hour ago, the number of infected coronavirus with the coronavirus is at 175 on this particular ship. So, including the quarantine officer, he is now infected.
Beautiful.
So, what's interesting about this virus is that from what I've read, they have not discovered a virus that is, has the type is contagious at this rate without showing symptoms
Yeah.
like this before. This is something that's pretty new to the game. So
I've said this before, to you guys. It's this thing has been worrisome for me because of the fact that we live in an area where people go back and
We live in a
forth from
port.
China on a regular basis. Being the main art school in the area has a campus in Hong Kong, so I've always been a little bit
That and
just nervous
Gulfstream.
about it. Yeah,
Gulfstream had a plane from China come in, and our boy had to go sanitize it.
yeah. Man, it's certainly is a scary situation. If you watch some of those videos, like of them spraying the streets and all of these little quarantines or disinfecting and like quarantine stations that they have, and how they're dealing with like people are freaking out. It just reminds me of like World War Z or something like that.
That's what it feels like.
NBC's reporting that a newborn contracted COVID-19, the new name of it, within 36 hours of birth. They're just now confirming this.
Wow. So
Wait, where?
In Wuhan. Or in China, at least. It says in China. I assumed Wuhan, but I misread that. But it's in China. That's still...
yeah,
I mean,
it's also been reported at this point. They say that it came from bats, which
I've also read that it came from a type of armadillo.
really,
Yeah, so the bat thing from the original thing, I've read several stories that's been debunked.
Really?
That they think that there's another animal that is related to an armadillo that is a delicacy there. They think that actually might be where it came from. So it might be worth doing a little bit more research on that.
I've heard
Now it's
I've heard
starting to
snakes,
sound like
I've heard
zombie
snakes
chasers.
as well. I mean that is kind of so there's a documentary that came out on Netflix called Pandemic. I don't know if you've seen it.
I've played the board game.
It may actually be something that you find interesting, because what it basically is what Doctors Without Borders is? So it's basically that, but it's these healthcare people, and they just go around. I mean, if you watch World War Z, whenever they're trying to like hunt down where it came from, that's what they do in cities like places in India and Wuhan, and it shows them like running through the streets in like hazmat suits and like going into a house and like, what are your symptoms kind of thing. But
What are your symptoms?
I mentioned that because there is a group of them that are Christians, and there's multiple episodes in it where they focus on like the power of prayer, like their reliance on it in this thing they do. So it's very interesting. But that is the reason I brought that up, is because that's what they're doing. Like in this thing, that's what some of these people do, is
We better have some modern day
they're running around trying to hunt
plague
down.
doctors out here with the big bird face.
Yep.
I know I keep throwing stuff out here at you. Did you know that American Airlines has canceled all flights to mainland China through April 24th?
I knew that they had canceled all of them. I didn't realize that it was that far. No.
I'm telling you, the impact on world economy is going to be pretty massive.
Well, yeah, because China's number one, so it's going to make a big difference.
They did tell us that.
China
and
every
everything.
time.
So, well, I think that'll do it for us today. It was a longer one, but we covered a lot of stuff. And
Tell you right now, if that thing comes over here, you ain't catching me going around without my mask.
so apparently I heard that at one point on Amazon, single masks had spiked to the 3M ones that have the correct filtration thing, had spiked to like upwards of like $100 or something like that.
Yeah, listen,
They
smart
gone up at one
move.
point.
Go ahead and go get yourself some filters right now before everyone freaks out. You can't get any.
Yeah. I actually got a inside link on some of that stuff, and was able to get it at a cost. And but anybody who knows me knows that I'm usually try to be prepared.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Dylan?
That's correct.
So these don't look like they are that expensive, but who knows? Regardless, at one point, supposedly they spiked up a pretty good bit. But
I mean, you got to think. I mean, if that's going around,
yeah.
there's only so many places they can get them, and it's not going to be like people aren't delivering them, so you're going to have to go get them from a place. They're not getting sent to you.
Yeah. Well, I heard a guy say that, say somewhere that actually the 3M ones, the ones that I was talking about, they're like this padding on the inside. It's different. Those are actually the only ones that would actually help you in one of those. Like if there was a virus like that.
That's only from airborne particles. The main reason that they wear the surgical masks is to help with body fluid. So the number one way that we contract it is we get it on our hands and then we rub our mouths. By wearing a surgical mask, you can't put your hand in your mouth. Yeah. So wearing a surgical mask is so when somebody's saying, oh, that's not blah blah blah, correct. Like if I'm going to walk into a room filled with poisonous gas that is the coronavirus, it's not going to do a lot. Yeah. But walking day in, day out, where the majority of germ entry is my hands touching parts of my body, wearing a mask at that point does help a lot.
And that's when the food industry is good because you got access to as many gloves as you want.
I don't think that's how the force works here. But so yeah, y'all got anything else you want to hit on before we close it out? Okay, well, it's been another one. This is the Valentine's Day episode, Valentine virus.
Yep. Don't catch it.
Thank y'all for coming. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me. I am at TBAT Quinn. Skinny Rick.
Mine is at TBAT Skinny Rick is SKINERICK. About to hit 160 tweets. Yeah. Here in the next day.
Yep. Sky and Rick on Twitter.
Yeah.
Dylan, you got anything? Social or?
I know I follow Skinny Rick. I think I follow you, but if not, I mean, I'm somewhere in there. You can find me. It's just Dylan Puckett. I'm on social media if you're interested.
If you want to follow me to Target, shoot me an email and we can set up an appointment.
At Target?
You can follow me to Target or to a, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. You don't want to plug your Twitter or anything?
I don't remember my Twitter handle.
Okay.
It's Twitter at Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I do have Twitter.
Yeah.
You could Google me.
Yeah.
Jim Simpson 79 maybe.
Okay. So that's going to be it for this episode. Thank y'all for watching.
Okay, bye.